Welcome to Kitchen Science. I'm Miss Diane from the Ridgefield Library. We have lots to do today with CO2. CO2 is a symbol for carbon dioxide, and they've been talking a lot about it lately. People say if there's too much of it in the atmosphere, then it will make our Earth get too warm. Carbon dioxide is a gas, and we can't see it, but it's everywhere all around. So today we're going to do some experiments and try to see it and see things that it can do. We're going to do 3 different experiments, and the first one's called dancing raisins. So think for a minute, what do we want to learn? We want to learn, first of all, how carbon dioxide is made, where it comes from, and what kinds of things it can do. And the first experiment, dancing raisins, will show you something carbon dioxide can do to raisins. It can make them dance. So here we go. So first, I want to tell you what things we need. I'm going to tell you what supplies do we need. These are things you probably have in your kitchen, which is why I'm calling it kitchen science, right? First of all, maybe you have some raisins. This is called baking soda. You use this when you're baking bread, cakes. I have a bottle of club soda. You don't need one of these, but I want you to see what it looks like when you're in the grocery store. Some white vinegar. I have a big jug. You might have a little bottle, white vinegar. Some empty containers. A couple of jars. An empty liter soda bottle. 1 balloon that isn't blown up, 1 balloon. And some things to measure with. So you are going to need a measuring spoon, a tablespoon, and a 1/2 cup measuring cup. And a funnel. Funnels are fun, aren't they? And some food coloring, any color you want. So here we go. We have all of these things we're going to use in 3 different experiments. I told you the first one is going to be called dancing raisins. So let's make them dance. Do the experiment, right? Here we go. So here we go with our dancing raisins. To make raisins dance, the easiest way you can make them dance is to put on some music and dance with them. But no, that's not true. That's silly. To make them dance, you could buy some club soda. Club soda, they sell this where they sell the other waters. It has more bubbles in it than seltzer does. It's just full of bubbles, and those bubbles are carbon dioxide. So the quickest way to make raisins dance, if you're in a big hurry, is you'll open the bottle carefully. Sometimes the bubbles bubble out. You open the bottle carefully of club soda. Put some in one of your jars, and you can see the bubbles are bubbling like wild. And then you add some raisins. And you give the raisins a minute. And what will happen to the raisins? Oh my gosh, it didn't even take a minute. It took a couple of seconds. The raisins will start to look like they're dancing. They'll go up to the top and down to the bottom, and up to the top and down to the bottom. And let me show you closer how this looks. It's a slow dance, but they're going up and down and up and down. Oh, here comes one up right now. And then they go down. Now what happens, bubbles stick on the raisins. And when enough bubbles get onto the raisin to make it floats up to the top, and the bubbles pop, and the bubbles go up into the air. But there they are. These, when you do this with soda water, they will dance for about an hour, a very long time. But let's see if we can do that ourselves. So take another jar. I'm going to put a measuring cup full of water in there. I'm going to put a tablespoon of baking soda in there. Now baking soda has that word soda, just like club soda, right? So you expect something's going to happen. So stir it up a little and the baking soda will dissolve. It'll be a little whitish, but nothing exciting is happening yet. But next we're going to add the vinegar. When you add vinegar to baking soda, a chemical reaction occurs, a very exciting one. Now because it's going to be so exciting, I'm going to put it inside of a pan so it doesn't make a big mess in my kitchen. Okay, here it comes. A cupful of vinegar, white vinegar. Get ready, raisins. You're going to have a ball. Wow, what a mess. But that happens because of the chemical reaction, and we're left with all of those bubbles. And I'm going to put some raisins into all of those bubbles. And we should see the same thing that happened. And you always should have some paper towels on hand because things do get a little messy. Here are the raisins that we made dance. They're really busy dancers, aren't they? Up and down and up and down and up and down. So we did that by putting baking soda with vinegar, and we created carbon dioxide. It's gone wild. So we're going to let our raisins dance over here and go on to the next experiment. That was fun. I wish I could dance as well as those raisins were dancing. They're going to be dancing for a long time. Next, the next experiment we're going to do is called Don't Blow Your Top. We're going to see if we can capture, that means catch some carbon dioxide in a balloon. There's two ways to do that. One easy way and one kind of science experiment type way. So here we go. Hi, our next experiment is called Don't Blow Your Top. We're going to try to see carbon dioxide in bigger bubbles or bigger ways, okay? So what you're going to need is an empty liter bottle. We're going to use our funnel. And we need baking soda and vinegar again. So you will, first of all, this is tricky. Oh, you need the balloon. You need the balloon. You're going to fill the balloon with 2 tablespoons of baking soda. You can't get it in that little hole unless you use a funnel. So you take the baking soda, plop it into the funnel, shake it around. Now, I had a hard time sometimes getting it in the balloon. I used a chopstick. I put it in there to push it down in. And I did use a rather big balloon. But inside this balloon, because I filled it up earlier, inside this balloon, there are 2 tablespoons of baking soda. And we're going to keep it for a moment. And in our liter bottle, we're going to put 1/2 of a cup of vinegar. You can use your half measure. Now, for me to put vinegar into this small hole, I'm going to use the funnel again. I think funnels are kind of fun, aren't they? Put that there. Pour that smelly vinegar. Have you noticed that smelly vinegar? It has quite a strong smell. Reminds me of salads. And there we are. So we have the vinegar in the bottle. I'm going to take that balloon, I'm going to pull it, stretch it, and this is why it's good to use the big balloon too. I'm going to stretch it over the top and plop the baking soda into the bottle. You might need somebody with muscles to do that. Okay, so now the top is covered. Baking soda's in the balloon. Are you ready to see it blow its top? Let's count to 3. 1, 2, 3. You pick up the balloon. Plop the baking. Oh no, gosh! That happened right away. My. It is blowing its top. All of the carbon dioxide gas rose into the balloon and filled the balloon up. Now, I bet you could guess if we added more vinegar and more baking soda, the balloon would have gotten even bigger. But tell you the truth, I didn't want it to get too big. I didn't know what would happen. So there you go. We still cannot see the carbon dioxide because it's an invisible gas, but we know it's in that balloon because we can see how big it's grown. All right, now for our last experiment. Wasn't that fun? I always save the best for last. The last experiment is called Wizard's Brew. So when a wizard is making a special brew that can do magical things, usually the brew is kind of like really exciting to watch. So we're going to make a wizard's brew that will keep bubbling and bubbling and bubbling. And I have a little warning for you. It's a little bit messy, but just be careful. Make sure you have some things around to clean up with, and you better warn your mom. You might make a little mess. That's why we're doing it in the kitchen. Here we go. Let's make some wizard's brew. Okay, for our last experiment called Wizard's Brew, I put on my apron. This one could get a little messy. I'm going to roll up my sleeves. So for Wizard's Brew, we need another jar. You can dump your raisin jar and use that one for this experiment too. So we need an empty jar, the vinegar, the baking soda. This time we have a magic ingredient in the magic brew. It is dish soap. Any kind will do. Any kind you use to wash your dishes. So first I'm going to put in my jar 1/2 of a cup of vinegar. And by the way, I am doing this inside of a pan because it might get pretty messy. And might isn't the word. It will get pretty messy. So put the vinegar inside. This time we're going to make it a little colorful. I picked green. You can pick any color you'd like. Put a couple drops of food color in there. Whoop. That's where it's going to get messy. Don't get this on you. If you get this brew on you, it will probably stain your clothes. You don't have to add the color. I just think that's fun. Then we're going to add, we're going to stir it up. Looks like Jell-O. Let me put this where you can see it better. Do a squirt of dish soap. Just a squirt. I'm not sure how much, as much as you think you want to put in there, not too much. Stir it up. Oh, it looks a little bit bubbly. But nothing exciting is happening. It doesn't look like much of a brew. I'm going to add the secret ingredient, and that's the baking soda. This is also called sodium bicarbonate. And it's going to make some bubbles, as you've learned from the other experiments. So here we go. And it's Wizard's Brew, so you need to stir it, okay? When you're making it, you need to stir it, and it will get more bubbly and bubbly and bubbly. Keep your fingers crossed. Whoa! Whoa! Here it comes. Here it comes. Here comes the brew, and it's growing, and it's growing, and it's growing. Oh my gosh. It's kind of frothy. It's really, really pretty green. Here we go. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Oh, I said you need to stir it. Let's do some stirring. Yum, yum, yum. When you stir it, it really goes crazy. Look at that. Wizard's Brew. That looks yummy, but do not eat it. It wouldn't hurt you, but it would taste terrible. And it's going up over the top, down into my pan. And the more you stir it, the more it goes. Stir, 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 stir. Don't we love experiments that make a mess? If you think it slows down a little bit, you can always add a little more vinegar. And a little more, oh, that's all I needed was more vinegar. I was going to put more baking soda in too. But here, stir, stir, stir. What fun. I wonder what color you'll make your Wizard's Brew. We had a great time today with carbon dioxide. So we'll talk about the things we learned and the things we talked about today. Wasn't that the best and the messiest of all? So when we did our 3 experiments, what happened in all 3? Well, what happened, there was a chemical reaction between the vinegar and the baking soda, and it made bubbles. In the first experiment, it made the raisins look like they were dancing. They weren't really dancing, right? It filled up that balloon with carbon dioxide, although we could do that ourselves, couldn't we? And third, it made the bubbliest mess of all. It made some wizard's brew, and it was really fun. So what did we learn? We learned when we put the vinegar and the baking soda together, it made a chemical reaction. The vinegar is what's called an acid, and the baking soda is called a base. And when they're together, I won't say they're happy. They get kind of very excited, don't they? They get very excited, and there's fun things to watch. Now, these things we use today, none of them were dangerous, but you always have to be careful. You know, wash your hands and protect your eyes, and have some fun carefully. So that's all the fun we had today with carbon dioxide. And you can think about carbon dioxide every time you exhale. This is inhale. You breathe in oxygen, and when you exhale carbon dioxide. Can you see it? You can't see it, but it's all around. Looking forward to seeing you once again next week. Bye-bye.